I hope that you are having an amazing day on today. So, we are still going over this book. I am Bernadette Hicks-Kelly. I am the CEO of Effective Transformation. And again, thank you for joining me on today. We are still covering this book, and the name of this book is Do What You Have the Power to Do. Again, this book is called Do What You Have the Power to Do. The author of this book is Helen Birch Pearson. Helen Pearson, Birch Pearson. I just call it Helen Pearson. So I've had this book a number of years. I'm sure you can still order it on Amazon. This is where I got the book from a number of years ago. So this is an old book, but this is always my faithful go-to book. Do what you have the power to do. So in the book, she has various stories that she discussed. And mainly everyone in the story are different women, different things that women were going through during this time in the Bible. And she just has stories about it, words of encouragement. And so it always encouraged me. So I got on here today, and hopefully that I can encourage you on today as well. The story that we're going to cover on today is the lady that was bent over in the Bible. This is covered in Luke 13, 10, and 17. So again, that is also going to have that in the notes so that you can go back and look that up. But that is Luke 13, chapter 13, verse 10 through 17. Again, this is regarding the woman that was bent over in this chapter. So just to go through it, I'm just going to not read the whole thing for you, just go over some basic things that was happening. So what was happening in this chapter was Jesus was teaching in the synagogues. And while he was teaching, in the synagogues, it's the Sabbath. It's also the Sabbath. So people were coming in to worship. They were coming in to hear from God. And they were coming to see Jesus. Jesus was performing miracles. Different things were going on. And so these people were coming to hear Jesus. He was teaching in the synagogue. So what is the problem? So what's the problem? There's always a problem. So what's the problem? The problem is that there was a woman that came in. And when this woman came in, it doesn't say in the Bible, step by step, when Jesus recognized her or when he saw her, but it is clear that when he saw her, he called her over to him. And he said in the Bible, it said that she was, that a spirit had her bent over. They called her the bent over lady. Not only did the spirit have her bent over, she was bent over for 18 years. I've done some exercises and trying to stay fit. And I know just bending over for a little while is an issue. So I cannot even imagine being bent over for 18 years. The good thing about us when we're exercising and we bend over, we get to sit back up straight. We get to straighten back up. But in this lady's case, she was bent over for 18 years and could not straighten herself up. The Bible said that a spirit had her bent over. And we see that today. So we don't know, it's not clear what happened in her life that had her bent over, but we see that today where different things are going on in people's lives, and it affects their health. So if you're like arthritis, I've seen where doctors are telling their patients, if you have unforgiveness or you have bitterness or you have things going on, that can settle in your body parts and cause different body parts to lock up, cause you to struggle in different body parts and various things. And so that's what it seemed like, that there's a spirit that was attached to this lady that had gotten into clearly her back and had her bent over. Now, what's the problem with being bent over? Again, we know there's a problem with bent over just from exercise. In my case, I'm just trying to find some notes here that I wanted to share. Just in exercising, we know that bent over is an uncomfortable place. When you're bent over, you also can only see the ground. You can only see the ground. So that was one thing. While she was bent over, she could only see the ground. She was looking down. So I'm sure she was struggling with looking up, struggling with talking to people, dealing with people. And so, but this became her normal. Struggling became her normal. Looking down became her normal. Not facing people, looking people in their face and dealing with people in their face became her normal. So, I'm sure after 18 years, you can have faith for a long time. I tell people, keep the faith. But after 18 years, I'm pretty sure she has some discouraging moments. She has some discouraging times. And that's how we are. If we're going through things, sometimes you do have discouraging moments. You have discouraging days. But that's why this scripture is so amazing, that this lady went through this for 18 years. But one day, she didn't even know, I'm sure, that this was her day. It doesn't say that she was going to the synagogue to see Jesus. It didn't say that she was going to, hoping that she could touch the hem of his garment. That's not this lady. This lady just showed up to do what she had been doing for 18 years. And I'm sure that by now she just said, if God isn't going to heal me, this is just something I'm just going to have to live with. But today was the day that Jesus said, not today. You are not going to have to live with this any longer. And this reminds me of, I remember I have a cousin, and she was in her 50s. She's older now, but I remember, I think she was roughly between 50 or 60 during that time. And she was telling my mom how she woke up every single day that something was hurting every single day. She may have had a headache, she had a backache, she had a stomach ache, she had her knees hurt, her arms hurt. Every single day she had woke up, something on her was hurting. Something was bothering her. But I remember the excitement and the joy, and I guess that's why I remember this story from so many years ago, because I was a young girl. I was probably about 8 or 9 at the time. But I remember her being so excited and telling the story how she woke up one morning and she was in tears that nothing was hurting. Absolutely nothing was hurting. She didn't have a headache. Her arm didn't hurt. Her eyes didn't hurt. Her back didn't hurt. Her knees hurt. She said, I didn't pray about it. She said she had accepted that this was her normal. She had been waking up for so many years that something was bothering her every single morning that she woke up, that she never even prayed anymore. God, take this away. God, I'm hurting. She said she just stopped praying about it. But one particular morning, she woke up and absolutely nothing was bothering her and nothing was hurting. And that's how Jesus does. And that, just as he did that for my cousin, just as he did that for the lady in the Bible, he wants to do the same thing for you. He wants you to know that one day soon, when you probably least expect it, you're going to be made, you're going to be healed, and you're going to be whole. You don't know when. There's not a set date. There's not a set time. But don't stop believing and don't stop hoping that you can be healed and you can be whole. And you don't have to wake up in pain. You don't have to wake up in misery. If you've gone through something, pain isn't always physical. Sometimes pain is mental. So if you've had things that happen to you in your past that you're still struggling with, know that you can give that to Jesus. He's here to take that away from you and make you pain free and make you whole and free of pain and struggle. Jesus can take that away from you. So don't stop praying and don't stop believing that it's possible and that today could be your day. Today could easily be your day. Don't put it off for tomorrow. Expect it to be today. I'm sure when that lady went to church, she was coming for something. She was expecting something to happen. She never stopped worshiping. She never stopped going to the synagogue. It said for 18 years. It doesn't say how long she had been going, but it does say that for 18 years she had this problem. But it also said on the Sabbath day, she was where she was supposed to be. She was where she needed to be. She was where she thought she would meet God. She was where she needed to be. And that's the same way with us, is we need to be where we need to be in order to meet God. Where is that? That may not necessarily be in a building. Maybe you need to be in prayer. Maybe you need to be fasting. Maybe you need to be focusing. Maybe you need to be meditating so that you can meet God and you can meet Jesus and you can be healed and you can be whole. And a miracle can happen in your life. It's the supernatural is still happening. You can still expect something supernatural every single day. So, what was Jesus' response? So and I just love Jesus' response in this chapter when he saw the lady. He's asked her to come over to him. He said, come over to me. The Bible says he called her over to him. Of all the people in the room, I'm sure that other people had other issues and other things that was going on with them, but this was her day. And this could be your day. So know that Jesus sees you. He knows what's going over to you. And when he calls, come. Come when he calls, because he has a miracle for you. So when he calls her over to her, the Bible said, he said, woman, you are free from your sickness. And I'm reading this from the NIV version. It said, woman, you are free. So the first thing he did was he told her, you free from this moment on. You are free. He didn't ask her, how did you get here? What happened to you? You know, who brought you? What happened? He asked her 0 questions. He said one thing, you are free. He didn't ask what your family gonna think. He didn't say, well, what are your friends are gonna think? You know, is this a good day for you? He told her, today, you are free. And I believe God is telling us today as well, you know, we're free from burdens. We're free from hurt. This is your day. You can be free from the struggling life. You can be free from being broke. You can be free from struggling from day to day. You can be free from migraines and headaches and backache and knee aches and pain aches. You can be free. When Jesus called you, answer the call. Answer the call. Come and answer. If she had not stepped up when he called her, or said, you know, give me a minute, I'm coming later, Jesus, you know, I'm talking to my friend, let me handle this first and then I'll be over there. She could have missed her opportunity. So don't miss your opportunity today. Take a moment and meet Jesus today. Today, take a moment and meditate. Find you some time. Find you a quiet place where you can meet Jesus and you can be healed and you can be made whole. So again, the first thing he did was call her over to her, and he spoke to her, and then he touched her. He touched her. So Jesus is waiting to touch you on today. It's not too late to have a touch. It's still early. It's early in the morning. Your day is just starting. Expect the touch from Jesus today. I expect Jesus to touch me today. So expect Jesus to touch you today. Expect Jesus to heal your situation today. Listen for the call. He's calling you today saying, I am here. I am available. Whatever is bothering you, I can take care of it today. Okay. So the other part that I wanted to point out in this section was, we are still talking about what you have to do. What you have to do. We're still talking about what you have. I can't talk today. We are still covering do what you have the power to do. She had the power to walk over to Jesus. She had the power to believe Jesus. She had the power to recognize that, you know, she was doing something different. She knew that women didn't even speak, and they certainly wasn't called out during the Sabbath on these days, you know, so she already knew that she was about to do something different. You are about to move in something different. So if Jesus is calling you, don't be afraid to move and do what he's telling you to do just because it's something different. And yes, we already know what happened. So as soon as Jesus healed her, they said that it was an official, and you can go and read this for yourself. There was an official, so that means there was someone on a higher level, much higher level than her level, and said to her, and he didn't say it to her, and he didn't say it to Jesus. He made the comment to the crowd. So the comment he made to the crowd was, there are 6 other days. Now, he sat here and chose the Sabbath day, and he know we don't do anything on the Sabbath day. We don't do any healing. We don't do anything on the Sabbath day. There were 6 other days that he could have healed this lady. Now, isn't that something? How someone think they have the power to tell you, not today. Today is not your time. You need to put that off. Today is not a good time to start a business. Today is not a good time to start a family. Today is not a good time to move to a new state. Today is not a good time. Don't let someone else tell you what's a good time and what's not a good time. This lady would have missed out on her blessing had she asked, well, let's not do that's Jesus. Don't heal me today. Because if you heal me today, somebody's going to say something. So and sometimes that's how we do. We don't turn in our resignation. Why? Because we're afraid that somebody's going to say something. I'm not going to do it today. Somebody's going to say something. I'm not going to resign today. Somebody's going to say something. Somebody's going to have something to say. This man has something to say about something he could not control. If he could have controlled, why did he allow her to come for 18 years? He didn't heal her in 18 years. He clearly had no faith in 18 18 years. He didn't even recognize, I didn't say 18 years ago, this same man recognized her. It does not say that. The word say that when Jesus healed this lady and told her that she was healed, that's when he had a comment. And that's usually when people have a comment. As long as you're not doing anything, people have nothing to say. No one has a comment. It's when you get up and move, and when you get up and do something. And when I say people, sometimes you are that same people. Sometimes it's not other people outside of your circle. It's not our people outside of your mind. Sometimes it's right here. And we are speaking negative things to ourselves, and we're slowing ourselves down, and we're procrastinating because here it's telling us, you are not ready. You are not the one, but you are the one. And you have to silence this voice. Let Jesus speak to this voice in your mind, in your spirit, in your soul that constantly tell you that you are not ready. So, and if you are not ready, make a decision of what do you need to do. This is how you can question if this voice is of God or not. Is question, if I'm not ready, then what do I need to do to get ready? And stop putting it off and stop procrastinating. Nothing you do is going to be perfect. There is no perfect time to start anything that you're doing. There's no perfect time to move. There's no perfect time to quit your job. There's no perfect time to start a job. It is when if I could give you a perfect time, if there was such thing as that, the only perfect time there is when you hear the Lord saying, move now, then that's your perfect time, is right now. Move right now. So when you hear the Lord say, move now, that is your perfect time. Other than that, there is no perfect time. There's no perfect time to get out of debt other than right now. What are you going to say? Well, I'm going to get out of debt 30 days from now. I'm going to start getting out of debt 60 days from now. I'm going to start getting out of debt 90 days from now. Maybe next year I plan to be out of debt. Why? Why next year? Why next year? Why next month? Why can't you move this month? Why can't you put a 30-day plan together? Why can't you put a 14-day plan together? You can. You can absolutely plan. So again, going back to this official. This official tells Jesus, you shouldn't have even done that today. And guess what Jesus said to him? You guys got to go back and read this. This is good. Jesus says to him, you hypocrite. You do everything that you want to do on the Sabbath day, and it is not a problem. But the moment I do something to help someone else, that's when it's a problem. You hypocrite. So the next time someone telling you something that you know God is telling you to do, or just something that you feel this is right for me, this is the right move for me, and they're trying to discourage you, speak to them as Jesus said, you hypocrite. Now you move, because everybody that's living in your state probably was not born in your state. They moved from another state. They may have moved from another country. They moved out of their parents' house. They moved out of the uncle's house and the grandma's house. They moved out of these places. They bettered themselves. And if they did not better themselves, it's still you hypocrite. You were too afraid to move, and you're trying to put those same things on me, you hypocrite. And so Jesus calls this man a hypocrite. He says, you hypocrite. You are pretending to do this only because I did something that you couldn't do. And that's why a lot of people have something to say, because they can't do something that you will do. And they can't do something that you want to do. Why? Because you have the courage to move forward. And here this man is a hypocrite, but he's saying something because he's not brave enough to say it directly to Jesus. He's saying it to the crowd. He's saying it to other people. And we know people like that. If the word get back to us, they haven't said anything to us. The word gets back to us, right? So I'm sure the word have gotten back to you that, this person said that, this family member said that, this friend said that, this church member said that. But just don't worry about it. Just let that hypocrite be that hypocrite, okay? You can't fix the hypocrite. So at the end of the story, the thing that I want you to walk away with today is move in courage. Have the courage. Have the confidence and be consistent. Just once you start moving, the confidence will come. All you have to do is start moving. The better you get at something, the more confident that you can do it. It's just like anything else that you're doing. As a child, you fell down when you first started learning how to walk. You crawled and you started to stand up and move from space to space. You fell down, you bumped your head, all of these things. But the better you got at it, the more confident that you came. So once you started walking, you figured out you could run. Not only can I walk, not only can I stand up, I can walk and I can run. So, and that's how life is. At this point, you should be encouraged that you can stand up, you can walk, and more importantly, you can run. Have the confidence to start running and be consistent at it. Don't stop doing it. No matter how difficult it is, do not stop. So my final point to get today, again, we're talking about do what you have the power to do. Do what you have the power to do. And I like to see things. So I like to see. I'm physical, so I need to see what you're telling me. And so I was walking through the store the other day, and I saw this ball. And when I was picking it up, I was getting some stuff for my grandson. And when I picked this ball up to give him this ball, he said it felt weird. He was like, "Oh, that feels weird." And that's how we are sometimes. We feel weird, but he said it felt weird, but we still playing. I liked it because it was green and bright. But what caught his attention, I don't know if you can see that if it's dark enough, but when we touched the ball, there's a light that came on the inside of the ball. And that's how we are. You might feel a little weird today, might feel a little weird on the outside, but there is some power in you that you can still accomplish some great things. You're not too old and you're not too young, and it is not too late. I don't care how many mistakes that you've made, there is some power. So notice if I tap this, that's when the light come on. So take today, tap yourself, tap into what is good, tap into what is valuable in you, turn that power on and do what you have the power to do. My final point today is stop trying to straighten it out yourself and let Jesus straighten it out. Let Jesus straighten it out for you. He got this. He got this. You just start moving. And when he straightened it out for you, you have one job. Just as that lady did, give him worship and give him praise. I hope you have an awesome day today. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.